Now, before all of that, across the country today, there are children spending the day in fear, too frightened to go to school, too frightened to speak out, too frightened to confront the bullies.
And when the most vulnerable of those bullied children get pushed to the limit, that's when we find ourselves doing the most heartbreaking interviews and meeting the bereaved mothers of the children who've taken their own lives.
Well, we don't want another grieving mother to have to sit on our sofa and tell that same story. That's why today we're launching this morning's Be Kind campaign. We'll need all of you to get behind it. But before we tell you any more, this is why it's so important to us.
Megan was bright, she was happy, she was hugely popular, she was sporty. She was just a normal, happy-go-lucky teenager.
He was always known for his smile, Felix. He's got a massive smile. He was funny, he was active and very, very loving.
She was being relentlessly bullied via social media.
His self-confidence, his self-esteem just was eroded on a daily basis.
The final message was, "Why don't you hang yourself?"
Yeah.
And she texted back, "Okay."
Okay, yeah.
So I desperately need for people to talk about this, to talk to their children.
He's been bullied online and in school. He's been beaten up. He's already told me how he's going to kill himself, which I suppose is good in a sense, because at least he's being open and honest with me. I'm just terrified.
Teach your children to be humble and to be kind.
It's really simple. Just be kind.
Well, we're joined by a group of the best experts in the business today. This morning, family, Deirdre, Nick and Eva Speakman, Dr. Ranj, and the lady whose words inspired this campaign, Felix's mum, Lucy Alexander. You right, my darling?
Yeah.
That's tough to watch. Tough
It is
watch,
tough.
isn't it?
Yeah, really tough.
Deirdre, can you explain first of all what this is all about? What are we doing?
The really important thing today is that everyone, you viewers out there, can really get involved with this. What you have to do is you will see a longer version of that video we've just seen by going to our website. So you go to our website and you go to the Be Kind page, and then you hit the pledge button, and that gives you a video to share with your children so that you can help them understand the issues. And maybe you'll share it with the school as well. If you're in Scotland, go to the STV website. But the important thing is we hope that if thousands and thousands you get involved, it means that no grieving mum will sit on this sofa.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about money here. Normally, when you hear the word pledge, you think of the word money. This isn't. This is, I pledge to share this video with the people who may benefit from it.
Absolutely, because we know there are children out there who are frightened and suffering. There are children out there, actually, who may be saying, you know, something that's a bit unkind, but they may not even realise the effect it's having on another child. And there are certainly parents out there who are feeling either helpless to know how to help their own child or how to really motivate the school. There are some brilliant schools who are doing fantastic work in this area, and there are others who really struggle to take it on board. So we're also hoping they'll share this video with the school and get the schools using it.
And get everybody talking about this, and that's the important thing. Ranj, what impact can bullying have on mental health?
Well, sadly, bullying and mental health do go hand in hand. Firstly, because children and young people who've got mental health issues are more vulnerable and therefore at risk of bullying. But the bullying itself can result in problems. And that's why we really need to just start that conversation off and try and prevent some of those problems resulting from it. And actually, those that have got issues also need to be able to get help. And that's what today is all about. It's about speaking to your child or your young person, saying, look, if you're in trouble, please speak to somebody. And
what about, what sort of age is this video appropriate for?
Yeah.
Because I've got young children and I do want to start talking to them about bullying. I think you can never start too young. Should I be showing it to them? What age? Or how can I introduce it to them?
You're never too young to have that conversation. I think, especially when it comes to young children, they don't always realise the consequences of their words and their actions and the impact it can have on other people. And that applies to some teenagers as well. But you can have that conversation whenever you feel is ready. It can be off the back of a story. It can be off the back of a question saying, how was your day today? Did anything not go quite right? Did anything upset you?
And especially as they're being introduced gradually to social media, when you think your child is right, A, to have a phone, B, to be allowed on social media, then it should come with that caveat.
Yeah.
But to be kind whilst you're on there.
That's it. And it's all about exercising that basic thing about compassion. Exercise, remind them to exercise compassion, and that's where to start.
And you've treated people in the practice. You've seen, as you said, you've seen the fear in their eyes.
I've seen the victims of bullying. I've seen the injuries physically that some children can have from it, and I've seen the impact it has on families. And actually, it's quite simple, the interventions that you can put in, but we need to start somewhere.
Yes.
And Nick and Eva, you've actually been, when you were younger, victims of bullying yourself.
Yeah, very much so. And I suppose the difference when I was bullied at school, I got bullied at school, but then when I went home, I had my own set of friends, and it finished. Whereas today, obviously with cyberbullying, it can be 24/7, and it's obviously a lot worse.
But the repercussions that we see in our clinic are, things such as low self-esteem, and this is in adulthood. This although starts in childhood and school bullying, it can lead on then to depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, eating disorders. And the thing is that to pledge and to become a part of this is so easy.
So what advice would you give after watching this video with your child? What sort of questions should you say to your child off the back of it?
I think for us, I think the thing to do with children is not to talk at them, but to include them. So say to them, I really value your opinion. What do you think about this? Because by including them, you're actually showing them that you value who they are. That will help to build confidence, because that's another side. It's not just about awareness, it's not just about teaching them to be kind, but it's also about you showing kindness to your children so that they can pass that on, because we're all a product of our environment. Bullies aren't born, they are created because of something that's happened to them, and therefore it's so important that we all embrace this, we all show and lead by example, and teach from really tiny to grown up that being kind is so simple.
Well, Lucy is Felix's mum, and it was you sitting on the sofa here with Nicola, who was the mum of Megan, that sort of prompted all of this. And one of the things that stuck with us was that you said it's not other people. And you think, oh, that won't happen to me, won't happen to me. You didn't even know it was happening.
No, it can be any of us. I mean, we watch these things on television and, it's heartbreaking to watch, but you don't think that's going to be you, ever. And it can be any one of us. It doesn't matter how privileged or not our lives are, it could happen to any of us.
And Lucy, this is only going to work if we all work together on this.
Yeah, it has to be everybody. We've got a collective responsibility towards our young people. So it's parents, it's teachers, and it's children themselves. We have choices. We can make that choice. We can make that choice to be kind.
It'd be lovely if you could incorporate that into the sign-up of many of the apps that we all use. You add your name, you add the thing, think, right, you confirm, there's a username, be kind. Because that so much of this happens online.
Yeah. And it's been given that, you're given that anonymity online to release the sort of probably a lot of angst and difficulties that you're having in your life, and you release it online and you don't see the impact of it.
But
so
also not
you need to be responsible.
The fact that if you are that bully and you're one, you might think it's a minor comment, but someone's had 30 that day, it pushes them over the edge. You have to live with that. Look what you did your whole life. And many people who come to see you guys are incredibly guilty about something that happened in the past if they were the bully.
That's absolutely right. And yesterday we had our office pull out 100 files. It's not a big sample, but out of that sample we found that 67 of those people had been bullied. 42 of those people had gone on to have issues because of the bullying, and one of those was actually a bully who, because their child was being bullied, it then struck home to them how bad they'd been when they were a child, and they were struggling with guilt.
Well, this campaign is all about getting young people to watch the video. So we're now crossing live to Jeff Brazier, who's at Felix's school in Worcester. This is not the school that Felix was bullied at, by the way. They've truly felt the devastating consequences, though, that bullying can have. Morning, Jeff.
Morning, Jeff.
Morning, guys. I'm here with Mr. Corbett, the head teacher at the Pershore High School. So tell me, what are you hoping that the pupils get from watching this video?
Well, it's such a powerful video. The message has got to be simple, that this issue has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with across the country. And the message of kindness that we're trying to get through is the key message.
I guess we're also hoping that if there are bullies out there watching this, and we hope that they do spot the video because we want it to have an effect, what effect would you like it to have?
They've got to be aware of the implications of what they do as to the kind of damage that can just be done by a word here, a word there, that we never know how other people feel about it and how affected they are by that.
And how did you feel when you first watched the video? Any emotion?
Yes, I mean, I'm a dad, I'm a granddad. It took me back to the terrible events of last year and the loss of Felix that we suffered. And it made me now, though, determined to redouble our efforts to get this message across.
And as a head teacher, you must be hoping that other schools follow suit.
Yeah, I think the problem is that sometimes in some schools, head teachers don't recognise the problem. But bullying happens in every school. And the most important issue here is that through your good services, we can get that message around across the country.
Yeah, well, we're going to watch this video right now, so do join us in 10, 15 minutes later when hopefully all these guys here will have watched the video and we'll catch some reaction from one or two of them as well.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. We have just hit the 7,000 pledges mark already this morning.
Which is
6,877 pledges. And as we said before, this is
Oh,
not...
it's gone
look
up
at that
again.
jump.
It just
It's
jumped
not,
up.
it's not
my
not a
gosh.
pledge about money. This is just a pledge to share that video. And, as
And
we
share
said,
it on your social media platforms this afternoon. If you're pledging, just share it with other people, because there might be people at work that don't get to watch this or whatever. Just keep pushing it out there. The more people we can get to, the better.
And we see lots of people who, we've been asked for, can you supply this for we're doing a school assembly? Can we have this? Can we have that? Wouldn't it be great if you used that as the format, the basis of your school assembly? So use it in that way as well.
Tell us if you do as well.
So we're opening our phone lines once again. All our experts will be staying alongside our team backstage to answer your calls today until 4 p.m. this afternoon. What kind of things do you think you can help with?
Well, I think we're looking for calls from parents of children who are being bullied. Maybe even if there are children, are we going to allow ourselves to break that rule out? And so if you're out there and you're being bullied, feel free to ring us about it. If you're connected with a school, just really any concerns around bullying. I think it's really important to get the message out, and really it's wonderful to get this subject sort of so much more high profile, because we know that if children do share the fact they're being bullied, that is very protective, and that is the way they get some help.
All right, well, don't suffer in silence. Give us a call, 08000 30 40 44. Calls are free from all consumer landlines and mobile phones. You can also email us this morning at itv.com. One of the key supporters of this campaign is Lucy Alexander, whose son Felix took his own life after being bullied. Jeff Brazier is live in Worcester at Felix's school at Pershore High, where the children have just watched the video with their teachers. So, Jeff, what's the reaction been like?
Well, I mean, during the video, as you can imagine, you could hear a pin drop, and, everybody is clearly moved by it. I mean, Owen here, we're going to speak to some of the pupils that have watched the video. Owen, what's your reaction to it? How did it make you feel?
It was heartbreaking to know that families are all around us are feeling this experience because of people in our age group are sending horrid messages and physical bullying as well to people just like them for not having, the newest technology, which is sending them over the edge. And it's not just pain on our half, it's also pain on their half, even though they are the bulliers for the problem.
Absolutely. And Jodie, what do you hope the difference will be when other pupils up and down the country hopefully watch this video with their parents?
Well, because it's real and it's so much more heartfelt than the dramatisations that you normally see in school, I think it'll have a much greater impact. And even if one person changes their mind about sending an unkind message, then it will have made such a difference.
So you're talking more on a part of a bully that might watch this video, and you hope that it might actually change their perspective on whether what they're sending is actually worth it or not. Do you think they'll think about the impact a little more?
Yeah, because it's a real story and it doesn't have the detachment that you get with the technology. So without that detachment, it will have more of an impact and make them think.
Thank you. And Charlotte, what do you think you would now do, having watched the video, if someone that you know is going through some cyberbullying or bullying of any form?
I would definitely go and speak to the bully, and I would approach him or her with kindness, and because that's, if we go up to them and we're mean to them, then they're going to think it's the right thing to do. So you have to approach them with kindness.
And it'll be met defensively. And what about someone that's maybe going through the bullying?
Definitely tell them to get it out there to make sure they can get the appropriate help for what they're going through.
Well, thank you very much, guys. So I've got my iPad here and I can't really think of anything that I'd rather be doing tonight than sitting down watching this video with my own children, because it kind of feels like I have the responsibility and duty of their care in order to make sure that they're being kind. So I'm pledging, we're watching it tonight, and I hope that everybody watching this will be watching it with their children too.
Jeff, thank you very much indeed. And thanks to the team there as well, so beautifully, elegantly, eloquently put. So thank you very much.
Well done, guys.
Indeed.
So impressed with you all.
We should also point out, once again, at the beginning, that wasn't the school that Felix was bullied at, the school he moved on to. And we're up to 27,000, I think, 27,500 pledges so far since we launched this morning. As we said, it's not a pledge for money, it's just a pledge to watch and share that video.
I don't think we've ever done anything that I've been more proud of than this as a show, actually. So it's really quite something.